Hi everyone, Chris here, and today I think I said I was going to talk about copyright. And so obviously, copyright is something that we all need to be very aware of and very careful with in our designs. And it can kind of get a little murky with education. People either go to one extreme and don't want to use anything, or they go the other way and they think everything is free because it's education exemption. And um, the education exemption kind of fits into the same kind of category as the commentary exemption. And essentially, the only real exemption for education is if you're actively teaching about the thing. So if you're teaching a class about the history of boxing, you can't throw Rocky up just because he was a boxer and it's cool. But if you want to talk about the movie Rocky as it relates to the history of boxing, then you're actively talking about the item. And so it gets kind of murky. And basically, don't even worry too much about that because that's really not something that you're probably going to come into very often. The bigger issue with copyright is making sure that you have something that you're allowed to use. And to illustrate that point, I wanted to bring up my favorite Abraham Lincoln quote, which is um, most of the quotes off the internet are crap. And it kind of goes that way with a lot of the way people are getting images to use in their materials. Whatever you do, don't go to Google Images. Instead, you'll want to use an actual licensing site. And there's lots of royalty-free sites. I have a few that I like to use. I just downloaded some stuff from shockwavesounds.com the other day. And one of the confusing things about royalty-free is royalty-free means you're free from the burden of having to pay royalties, not that the stuff you're getting is free. I spent $60 on that audio stuff from Shockwave Sounds yesterday, and it was well worth it because it saved a lot of time. There are some sites that offer free images that are royalty free, and there are some Creative Commons places that are really great. I'll stick a link in with this. I have a collection of sites that I use myself, and if I missed any, please share. Um, and yeah, you really want to make sure, especially on your online portfolio, that every single piece of media is copyright appropriate. So the easiest way to do that is to draw it yourself or to take the photo yourself. Not everybody can do that, and so those royalty-free sites and the Creative Commons sites are really important things. But you want to make sure that they're authentic and it's not just some random dude who found all kinds of images on the internet and thinks they're free. Because copyright really starts with the artist, and if you go quite literal with the word, it's the right of the artist to say who can copy their work, and it's a big deal. You can get into some trouble with it. Um, I think I implied that I would share an embarrassing story. So 20 years ago, my God, it really was 20 years ago. Um, I was asked to do a website for someone, and they were going to pay. Well, back in the day, it was 5 grand. 20 years ago. Wow, that was good money for like a 4-page website. And I found an image that was the perfect size, and I was going to go take a photo later that day. But I just stuck this image up there, and um, I was editing live, and somebody saw it, and I lost the gig because they didn't want to mess around with copyright. So if you have a copyright issue, like if you use a picture from The Simpsons or you use a picture from Disney or some image that's clearly not yours to use, you may never know. what opportunities are just passing you by, because people see that and they just throw their hands up and they're like, nope, not dealing with that. So keep your designs clean and often ask. That's another easy way to get around. Like if you're just off on the internet and you see this photo from a blog and it's a travel blogger who took a picture, you can email the artist, person who took the photograph, and write, I would like to use this photo for this thing. Can I use it? I've done that tons of times. And for like random bloggers who are out doing their thing, I've never had anyone say no. The most I get are confused. Well, of course you can. That's fine. And then having that email as your receipt is really important. So that's it. Yeah, copyright appropriate images. Make sure you document permission to use them, and for all media, sounds, images, photographs. But making it yourself is always the easiest. All right, see you tomorrow.